So we're going to talk about today about not bossing God around and the white knuckle grip. So with death, with life-threatening situations, it's I think healthy to have some fear. I think if you're pretending not to be afraid when you have a life-threatening situation, it's likely that you're suppressing the fear. You're not actually experiencing the fear. So I think there's like two devils. One that says, la 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 la, I'm not scared, I'm gonna die, or I might die, but I'm just fine, I believe that everything's fine. And the other devil is like, oh, this is way too hard, and I've just gotta like keep a grip on every little thing, all my foods, all my vitamins, all my emotions, all my everything, or else I'm gonna die. And I actually think that there's a way through this, that it's natural and normal to go between these two devils of like, okay, I have complete trust and faith that I'm going to be healed somehow, and oh my God, I'm going to die, I have to control every little bit of it, or I might die and I have to control every little bit of it. That there's a natural movement between this, and that right in the middle is the space where freedom actually lies. It's not in denying one or the other. So with that said, I'd like to talk a little bit about the white knuckle grip, which is over on this side of needing to control, needing to believe fervently, or just being so scared and feeling like you can't move because you're so scared. Because if you're locked in fear, you're not going to be able to do much of anything, right? Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Angela. All right, so I'd like everybody watching this to hold their hands together and get them really, really, really white by pressing really hard, okay? All right, and just really grip. And I'd like you to feel and get in touch with any fear that you have. It's okay, we're going to release it. And if you're here as a caretaker, you might be afraid that somebody you love has a terrible disease and they might leave you. And your fear is often worse than theirs because they get to like go through the process, but you might be left without them. So I want to just really acknowledge that this white knuckle grip is as much for the caretakers as for the people with cancer. Now, if you're an animal, you often don't have a white knuckle grip. In fact, that's, I think, why animals respond so nicely to these methods, because they're not gripping like the rest of us. Hi, Joseph, welcome. Yay. Okay, good. So now my hands are like, the circulation's being blocked off. I don't know if you can see, but their knuckles are nice and white. And there's red marks because I've been holding it. So now I'm going to get in touch with a fear of mine. And now, in a minute, I'm going to ask us all to release our hands. And you can release them to a higher power. I'd like you to actually get in touch with the physiological feeling in your body of not clenching. So in order to do that, we have to clench. So everybody's clenching. All right, and I'm going to count to 3, and at the count of 3, I want you to very slowly release your grip on your hands. And in that, I want you to notice the cascade of things that happen just in your body that happens when you release your grip. Okay, so let's do that. So 1, 2, 3. Now just slowly stop gripping. Don't take away your hands. My hands are almost numb because I was pressing them so hard. And now I'm aware of the fear that I had, but I'm releasing my grip on it. And now just slowly, and now open up your hands. And when I'm doing this is I'm asking, like my hands are open, and now I can maybe receive something that I couldn't receive. And what I'm feeling is I'm feeling maybe not a big tingling, but an energy flow down my back, up my arms. My heart is opening. All right, so now let's close it up again. Now let's go back into our fear. Back into our fear. Hold it tight. What I'm noticing is I'm not as scared as I was. All right? Or is anybody else? It's hard to type when you have your hands like this. But what I'm noticing is that the fear that I had before I opened is just, it's hard to find almost. Okay, but I'm finding it because it's not completely gone. And now I'm going to open it up, release it. And now I'm going to be in a receptive place. And in this receptive place, I'm in the middle. Okay, so I'm not just pretending like, okay, now everything's going to be fine, hunky-dory, and I'm going to get all better, and there's nothing to worry about. But now I'm in a receptive place to that polarity, that conundrum that I have. And I feel like I'm relaxing all over. All right? So this is an exercise you can do to help you with your fear. So you sort of acknowledge the fear with the white knuckle, and then you receive just with your body. You're now receiving solutions. You're receiving, and I don't care what you think you're receiving it from. That's up to you. That's the way you organize your spiritual framework in your life. But this is a physiological human thing that we then have to give meaning in our minds with. Okay, good. All right, let's go back again and be attached to the fear. And my fear is getting like, it's like 10% of what it was before. It's almost hard for me to grip. I'm wondering if anybody else is feeling that too. All right. Grip, 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 grip. And now open for receiving. And I'm going faster because I'm just not that into my fear anymore. Okay, good. All right. Okay, good. All right, so that's an exercise that might help you. Now put your hands down and tell me with your typing, and I'll read it, anything anybody experienced with that. What I experienced was that if I repetitively released my hands while I was thinking about what I was afraid of, it became harder and harder to be afraid. And I got more, it felt like, no, there's going to be solutions to all those things, even though I don't have them right now. There was, actually, I had a couple ideas of things I could do, or things that I am doing that are likely to help a lot. And I'm not as scared as I used to be. And Ingrid noticed that so Ingrid said that her fear, hi Melinda, she says, yes, I noticed that my fear became smaller. Okay, so again, we didn't suppress the fear. And I really think that, there's this whole thing that negative emotions create cancer, and they create other diseases. So the idea is, what do you do with them? Because if you suppress them, they create disease. If you indulge in them, they create havoc. So if you can create a container for them where you can experience them without hurting yourself and everybody around you, then it often works. Okay, Greg says, there was less fear energy in each release, so wow, a new practice. David said, this is a great exercise because the idea of surrendering to a higher power is one thing, but it's difficult to actually, and I don't think while I'm on live I can see the rest of your comment, Dave, but I'm looking forward to reading it. Okay, good. Can I scroll? Dorothy says, fear lessened, I will use this technique. Yes, okay, great. Okay, good, so I'm glad you're doing that. Okay, so that's the teaching for today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, what we're going to do is we're going to take our fear or our negative emotion. We might be sad, we might be really angry and pissed about something. We're going to take something that's not pretty into an inner healing sanctuary, and we're going to ask for its transformation. Now that can be an emotion, it can also be a physical ailment, but I'd like us to bring our boo-boos in, bring our cancers, our autoimmune diseases, our terrible things wrong with our body into the healing sanctuary. But I'd also invite you to bring in any negative emotion into the healing sanctuary for it to be transformed, because there's often gold and diamonds in the transformation of these negative emotions. Okay? And then we'll do our spinning meditation, and then we'll set it up. Anyway, good. Alrighty, let's go. Let's begin.